when we learned of Tyson Fury's cut. Yeah, and 24 hours on a Zoom call out to the public. It was all kind of put right in terms of a new date, etc. But disappointing. That fight should have happened, obviously, 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
Wow, would that have...
Well, it would have been the 17th of Feb, which was on Saturday.
Oh yeah. You know what's mad to think, because I wouldn't have been working, so yeah, just it feels like it's been forever since the announcement that it was off. I feel sorry for Tyson Fury. Anyone thinking Tyson Fury's cut his own face is an absolute psychopath. Mm-hmm. You need to go and check yourself into the nearest doctor or psychiatrist if you think Tyson Fury cut himself, you lunatic. It is what it is, mate. It happens. It's professional boxing. You're not going to go in the water and expect to go in the water and not get wet.
And those are the words of Tony Bellew as he states he feels sorry for Tyson Fury. And if anybody thinks that Tyson Fury, as you guys heard, cut his own face, you're an absolute psychopath and you need medical assistance. And let me counterpunch. I think people misconstrued the fake injury from legitimate evidence. And I think people questioning the fact of the video implied that Tyson Fury made this shit up. I'll say this. This goes with the whole result of how people thought, how people took Tyson Fury getting cut. They just looked at it as more of the same, and it just shows you why and how bad a reputation Fury has received over the years, over the last couple years, you know, from 22 to 23 to now. You know, we haven't seen an undisputed fight. The choice of opponents that he's chosen, people question that. People question the whole negotiations, the first round of Saudi Arabia's talks, and that wasn't this year, that was last year. How it fell apart when they tried to bring it to England. And, you know, and the whole Ngannou thing just kind of up in thin air. You know, it just, like, that was really just too much for, you know, for then Tyson saying, oh, he's not this, he's not that, he's not worthy. And it's like, well, a guy that you already beat twice is worthy of challenging you for your belt, but a guy that has the rest of the belts are not worthy. You know, so those things, you know, I'm kind of exhausted of talking about it. That's why I'm not really going in depth with it, just scraping the surface. I think people have that idea about Tyson simply because, you know, Tyson has a reputation, allegedly, of being slippery. No, that's not alleged. You know, I mean, the sketchiness came from a long time ago, but here's the ironic thing about Tyson Fury. The sketchiness did not start with fans of Fury. The sketchiness started with enemies of Fury that amplified it to that amount, to that degree, when there was nothing else going on. Okay, because see, when Tyson beat Wilder, the world stopped. Like literally, the world stopped. The pandemic hit. COVID was out. COVID is real. Okay, a lot of people think it's not real. It was real. Okay, whatever was killing people in New York, Italy, Brazil, other parts, you know, other major cities were catching this disease. So no one had anything to do. So while no one had anything to do and these athletes weren't fighting, they were sitting back, laying low or doing whatever, you had a group of people, a group of channels that got together and they all came together like the like Avengers, right? Like this dream team of haters talking about Tyson Fury and talking about the things that he did and talk about the, you know, the Martin Carefoot incident with the wild boar meat and, you know, all this stuff. Then there's the spike water and all that. See, all that started, but then they added, they associated real events and real things that Tyson Fury did once upon a time, 5 years before, and then added it right along with what he didn't do these days. Now, though, here's the problem. Since that was amplified so much and Tyson Fury's name was pretty much mud in a certain group, how they viewed him, he beat Wilder again, then retired, okay? Then comes back. No, he fights Dillian White. Then he retires. Then he comes back supposedly after retirement. And then nothing gets done. And in the same year that nothing gets done, he fights Derek Chisora. He gives AJ a deadline, and everybody kind of looked at that. Why would you give someone a deadline? You didn't give Derek Chisora one. So, you know, and a lot of people just saw that. They're like, okay, you beat one guy. You know, on top of, you know, hey, you're an ex-drug cheat too. You're a drug abuser. You know, I mean, it's a lot of things that, you know, people then started to add to Tyson Fury or to put on his ballot, you know, just started to add stuff up like, okay, well, you know, you didn't fight Klitschko and then for the rematch, and then you're finding it hard to fight another Ukrainian that is undefeated. You know, a lot of people question that. And on top of what everybody was already taught, well, can't say everybody, but what people were talking about, you know, it just looked bad for Tyson. So saying all that to say all this comes back around and then he gets a cut. Everybody's like, okay, all right. At what point do we stop believing in Tyson Fury altogether? Because people are starting to really lose their patience. Because if it's not one thing, it's another. Now, according to Tony Bellew, like, hey, if you did that, you know, if you think he did that himself, well, this is what I believe, okay? And I'm just going to put it out there, you know. I think Tyson Fury was cut in sparring. I just don't believe he was cut when that video, I don't think he was cut in that video. Either maybe he was already cut or he got cut later on. It doesn't matter before or after. He wasn't cut in that sequence, I don't think. I don't think he was cut in that sequence because it was too sketchy. It was too short. You know, you didn't see the outcome. You know, you didn't see any blood on those white-ass gloves. You didn't see that. I think he got cut later on, maybe by that same guy, because that guy's not saying he didn't cut Tyson. You see what I mean? So, you know, there's no conspiracy there. But I think they didn't want to show when he got cut because what would have been revealed is what we got was already not a good look. Because, I mean, he got punched, elbowed, whatever you want to call it, right? In that sequence. But I think when he really got cut, he was getting beat up. I believe Mr. Argron was giving him the business. You know what I mean? He was really putting it to Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? And I think that's when that cut occurred. Okay? So that's what I think. I think he got cut, but I think they didn't want to release the footage of him actually getting cut because maybe there wasn't any footage, for one. You know, and I think they just wanted people to believe that there was footage, so they give you the footage that they think that you would buy. Okay? Because they're selling you that shit, and I don't think that's what it was. I think that happened later. Okay? Matter of fact, it would make more sense for it to be later, because, you know, why would you have a cut open and still spar? That would be stupid. I think it happened after that. I think a sequence of him getting caught with punches that it just didn't look good, so they didn't show it. You know, there's possible why they cut it. We don't know because they cut it. So there's no evidence of him actually being cut or actually us seeing a cut. Okay, so there you go. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Tony Bellew stating that if anybody thinks that Tyson Fury cut himself to get out of the Alexander Usyk fight, you need help and you're psychopaths. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!